I'm Jordan Belfort, and this is Sales School. All right, short message from my number one sponsor, NetSuite. Here's the deal. If you're a business owner, you don't need them, NetSuite, to tell you it's tough to run a business, because it is, right? We all know that. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. They're the world's number one cloud-based business system. They give you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. You want to join over 24,000 companies using NetSuite right now. So schedule a free product tour now at netsuite.com/school. That's netsuite.com/school. You know, I think what's happening here is I think there is some confusion here about what an airtight logical case consists of and what an airtight emotional case consists of. So let me just kind of demystify that and kind of hammer this home one more time, because when I talk about what the straight line is at the highest level, what it really is, it's essentially the seamless delivery of airtight logical cases and airtight emotional cases in the perfect order. In other words, here's the deal, guys. Remember, there's two types of certainty. There's logical certainty and there's emotional certainty, right? And in order to close at the highest level, you have to have both. You just do, and here's why. Because logical certainty is about the logical mind. It's about features and benefits, a cost-benefit ratio, a value proposition. When you make an airtight logical case to someone, they should be able to sort of go from A to Z, or A to Z, depending on where you live in the world, right? And they can sort of connect all the dots and have an understanding of why what you're selling or recommending is empirically awesome. Like, it just makes fucking sense. It's not like there's no like secret sauce that can't be explained. Like, it's this, it's that, it's step, 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 right? No gaps in the middle. That causes two things to happen. Number one, a person, the individual who you're trying to sell to, they understand themselves. They get it. They understand at a very high level why it's a great deal. And they, more importantly, then can now explain it to someone else. You see, when you have made an airtight logical case to someone, if that person gets challenged by their partner, their wife, their friend, why you just, oh, I did it because A, B, C, they can explain it themselves. And there's a certain level of comfort that someone has when they can actually say, oh yeah, I made this decision because it makes sense, and here's why. So when you make the airtight logical case at a really high level, not only does someone understand themselves, but they're confident in their ability to explain to someone else. And because of that, they don't worry about being challenged or making a bad decision, or if, God forbid, someone says, oh, why'd you do it? You get it? So it eliminates embarrassment and so forth. So that's your logical case. It's A, B, C, 1 + 1, 2. It's in a straight line. It all adds up. So it's just, yeah, it makes sense. That's the best way to explain it. It's the numbers. It's the equation. It's the scream from the hilltops, undeniable logic of why something is a great deal, period, end of story. That's the logical case. The emotional case is very different. It's simply about skipping over all that stuff, all the minutia, jumping to the end point and saying, yeah, imagine it already works. We already got past that. And now the person sees themselves in the future using your product, good or service, or enjoying the benefit of that product, good or service, and feeling good. They're actually living the benefit in the future. Their pain has been resolved. If they were out of control in some aspect of their life, they feel in control. If they were worrying about something, they're no longer worried. That's emotional certainty. And again, that word I always use is future pacing, meaning that they are able to jump past the minutia, the ABC of it all, and say, yep, it just works. I got that. We're moving past that now. And imagine how great I feel 6 months from now driving down the road with the top down, the wind blowing in my hair for the car, or having the insurance policy and knowing that my family is covered no matter what happens to me, the risks have been removed and so forth. So a great airtight logical case is the explanation step by step, and the airtight emotional case is when the person visualizes their life down the road, already enjoying the benefit and feeling good. What happens that in the absence of making the airtight logical case, if you just focus on the emotional case, the logical mind serves as a human bullshit detector. So if you try to impulse someone without essentially making the case of why it just, yes, you're right, it makes sense, their mind saying bullshit, he's telling me how great I'm going to feel in 6 months from now, but he didn't convince me that it's actually going to happen. So this sort of convinces someone it's going to, yeah, it is going to happen, and this is how you feel. This is the one that says this will happen, and here's how you're going to feel. You get it? This makes it happen. This is how you feel after it happens. And those two together, so what happens is once you've made this scream from the hilltops airtight logical case, and the reason I use that scream from the hilltops is that, I mean, it's gotta be at this really high level, and just that takes work. That takes forethought. That takes sitting down and doing research sometimes and really taking time to plan out and say, how is the best possible way? How can I explain this to someone else so they get it? So they say, you know, oh, wow, I get, you know, all bullshit, no hype, all bullshit aside, this just makes sense. That's a logical case. Once you've made that, it then frees someone up to be moved emotionally. The bullshit detector is silenced. So once that's been silenced, you can now easily sweep someone away with their emotions, imagining how great they feel down the road. Without the logical case being satisfied, what happens? They'll start to feel good, and there's bullshit in the back of their mind up. Wait, someone's trying to take advantage of me and being impulse bullshit. That's why you have to have both. So in practical terms, what does that mean? Well, for me, when I know I'm doing my job, I know that I'm close. When I say to someone, after I run my first loop, and I've made my second, so now I made my initial presentation, right? I framed my airtight logical case. They say they want to think about it. So let me slow this down now for a second, so watch. So I'm in the sale where I've already completed the front half of the sale. This is your straight line, open, close, your boundaries above and below. I finished my front half by asking for the order for the first time. I asked for the order, and I was hit with a typical objection of, let me think about it. That was the objection I got. To which I said, I understand you want to think about it. Let me ask you a question. Does the idea make sense to you? Do you like the idea? Right? And I would use that perfect term. You know, do you like the idea? You know, all things be equal, hypothetically speaking. And the person says to me, yeah, it sounds pretty good. And immediately I know that I have work to do, because that level of certainty that I hear in his tonality says he's at a 5 or 6. 5 or 6 on the certainty scale for logical certainty is not scream from the hilltops airtight logic. It's someone saying, yeah, it kind of makes sense to me, but like I'm not really convinced yet. So when someone says that to me, what do? I enter their world where they are. I say, exactly, it really is a great deal. So I enter their world where they are, same level of certainty, my own tonality. I then loop back into presentation mode. I make that second follow-up presentation, and the follow-up presentation is even more poignant, more pointed than the first one. It builds on the first one, and by the time I'm done, I have made such an undeniably logical case. When I say to them, now, you see what I'm saying, John? They say, oh, no, yeah, now I get it. Now I get it. I'm not buying from you, but now I get it. So it's almost like they don't say the second part, but in their tonality, they say, oh, no, yeah, I love the idea. I'm not buying from you, Jordan, but, oh, yeah, now I see it. That's all I want.